What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate support. You guys, you remember in the 90s, if you guys was in the hip-hop era, there was a term that said pimping ain't easy. That was in the 90s. Evidently, in the 2020s, it's even harder. Cue this dumbass up here. Let's get in on it. Guy you see up here is from Bellevue, Washington. Shout out Bellevue. Shout out. This guy's name is Cedric Dorsey, a 30-something-year-old man that is a pimp, baby. And he's just been sentenced to 35 years in prison for trafficking charges to a woman that he trafficked in multiple states: Washington, Nevada, other places. I want you to look at this guy and his social media and all this other stuff that comes up. Some people just, they love telling their business. This is the stupidest thing. And what this guy did was morally wrong. And I'll get into that too. But 35 years, in my opinion, for what he did, it's not enough. And I'll explain why. Take a look.
Yeah, Molly and Preston, Bellevue police say this all started out as a routine patrol call where a couple of officers thought something didn't quite look right. That led to prosecutors saying they were able to take down a vicious pimp who was abusing a woman and selling her for sex work while keeping the money for himself.
So trying to tell me leave alone?
On social media,
It's trying to tell me leave money alone.
Cedric Dorsey painted himself as a pimp
Why I'm a pimp.
with money, swagger, and influence.
SCCC 333.
But investigators say his lifestyle was built by forced sex work, as Dorsey trafficked a woman into prostitution in Seattle, Bellevue, Kent, and Las Vegas. It all came undone in 2024 when Bellevue police responded to a domestic violence call involving Dorsey and his victim.
They listened to what that victim was telling them and realized things weren't just adding up for her and what she was saying, and that she was in a very dangerous situation.
Bellevue Police Major Ellen Inman says patrol officers noticed signs of trafficking and called detectives.
When you ask them questions, they're answering repeatedly in these kind of scripted or answers that sound like they're rehearsed. When they served the search warrant on his premise, they recovered $12,000 in cash, along with those 3 firearms, one of which was stolen, and a banned firearm.
King County prosecutors hit Dorsey with charges of human trafficking, promoting prostitution, and unlawful possession of a firearm.
We see very significant violence, strangulation, beatings, assaults.
Prosecutor Brayla McGinnis tried Dorsey's case where his own social media posts were used as evidence, including this one about the 304 oath, where prostitutes promise not to cooperate with police and say they aren't victims.
One of the biggest rules of the game is not to talk to police. It is that idea of selling the dream, right? Saying, I have these nice things. If you come with me, you can have all of this, right? And when you're talking to someone who has had a very rough upbringing or a very troubled life, that's the vulnerability that they exploit.
That's the way I look at social media and the use of different ways that people advertise their criminal activity, is that if you make it available for the Bellevue Police Department in this case to access and use as part of our lawful investigation, then that's what we will do.
After being found guilty at trial this spring, Dorsey is now starting a 35-year prison sentence.
We were able to take a very dangerous criminal off the street and hold him accountable for his actions.
Now, local and state officials have been really trying to get a handle on this issue of illegal sex work. And one of the proposals supported by the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office was a bill earlier this year in the legislature that would have increased the penalty for those who are buying sex work, the Johns in this case. But that bill did not make it out of committee this year. Reporting live in Seattle, Jeremy Harris, Como News.
All right, guys. That's the story of this dude, and I think he's a monster and a moron at the same time. I'm going to tell you something. As a man, a lot of men don't understand the plight that women have just existing as females in society. You look around, they're over-sexualized. People come at them a lot of times from an advantage, try to take advantage of them. A lot of them come from broken homes. A lot of people, a lot of females are just subjected to a lot of stuff just because they're females at a young age, and it's not right. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times us as men, we don't understand that. Why? Because we are the ones that usually try to make ourselves more appealing to get female attention as we get older. Whereas a female, all she has to do is exist and have the right body symmetry, and good and bad can happen for her. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. But I mean, people like this son of a bitch right here, are the ones I really despise. You a pimp, you on social media, all this other goofy shit. You got the fucking teeth and pointing in your fucking teeth. You got diamonds in your mouth. I thought diamonds was a girl's best friend. Now you notice, if you look at the way the rap game is and all this other stuff in a lot of black culture, the feminine aspect is pouring into the masculine. But don't nobody want to say nothing about it. Every time I see that shit, you pointing at the fucking teeth and all this shit, that's herd mentality bullshit. It reminds me of the Muppet Show. Remember the Muppet Show? The dude in the band, Dr. Teeth, remember? Boom. That's what that shit remind me of. You know what I'm saying? They showing the fucking teeth. That shit look crazy as hell. And another thing is this, man. Let's look at this for what it is. This shit remind me of slavery. It does. All of that trafficking and pimp, that shit remind me of slavery. You crush somebody's will, regardless of if it's a female or not. You crush their will and make them feel less than nothing to serve you because you yourself are nothing. He would have life without parole if it was up to me. In fact, he wouldn't even have life. He'd have been gone because he crushed the spirits. And, you know, in helping this woman move forward. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why men gravitate to that. See, the thing is this. People like this, they feel a certain rush in their system where they feel as though they have power over a woman. When as a man, we already have that in different ways, forms, and fashions. Dudes like this is walking dog shit. He on social media showing off, counting a bunch of money that he didn't make off the back of somebody. I'm more than sure if they had a choice, you know what I'm saying, they would be out there making the money for themselves, regardless of how they make it. It's craziness. This guy right here, look at him now. In the streets, he was portrayed as somebody that he want everybody to be like. And what I mean by that is this. I mentioned this before. DMX said a verse one time where he said niggas ain't built for nothing but fronting. In the black community, and I went through this too as I was growing up, we get to a point where we want other people to envy us or idolize us because we have a certain style or we have a certain thing or we have a certain level that we think other people would look up to us as and be like, man, I wish I was up there. And then you feel good about yourself. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. For him to get on social media knowing that pimping is illegal, for him to feel as though he can spit that out and do all this and do all of that, all the while another human being is under his control and he's using her body for his financial gain. That's terrible. A lot of times these women are not protected when they're younger, and it shatters their psyche. And then people like this, these shadow demons, can come right in and control them. Because I'm going to tell you something. Women think with feelings. They think with their feelings. And a lot of times, if they got to weigh a pro and a con, you might take a lesser misery from a greater evil. And might say, well, damn, I mean, at least with him, I know I can whatever, as opposed to how my life was before that. It's messed up. People take advantage of you. They'll use you till they use you up. And this is proof of it right here. This guy is crap. And people that do this shit is crap. How you feel good about yourself and sleep at night knowing that you put somebody in imminent danger with sexual encounters with strangers night after night after night? Not to mention what her body's going through. And her mind, her mental capacity. That's why that type of stuff, I would show them the flowers. Because once people go through this, you know, your subconscious records everything. Once you go through this, there are things that you have experienced and can't unsee that affect who you are in the future. And that's a perfect example. That's the most selfish thing you can do, is when you make money and parade yourself around and dote about making money off the back of somebody else's misery. That's unacceptable. Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Take care.